Alright. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Diamond in the Rough. The creative mastermind, he who has a brain larger than all of us. His hands might be slow and old and decrepit, kind of like mine, but his brain is still working, firing at 1,000 beats a second. Down here in the bottom, brain beats, it beats. It doesn't pulse or anything else. It beats. That's right. That's the brain pumps the blood around the body, right? That's how it works. Yes. My knowledge of anatomy is almost as good as my knowledge of StarCraft, guys. AMA in the comment section. Down here in the bottom right-hand side, representing Psystorm, it is Ruff. His opponent in the top left, in the red, it's Risen. Fishicidif. So, you can tell, I mean, I'm just going to call this player Shh, I think. Or Fish. Fish should dance, have fun. We're just going to call this player Fish. So Clan Risen's Fish, up here in the top left, the Zerg player. Going to be going for a hatchery first opening. Looks like an 18 gas, 17 pool, probably. Pretty standard stuff from the Zerg. That indeed does take the gas and the spawning pool. Ruff on the other side is actually looking surprisingly normal. Actually, he's gone gas first, so gas before barracks, not the most common these days, but, you know, all things considered, this looks pretty chill. I mean, it's depot, barracks, looks like space for a reactor. He can low ground expand. It's about as normal as Ruff ever opens up. He hasn't been doing a lot of scouting lately, I'll tell you that. Every now and then, he'll kind of sniff something from his opponent just because he knows the player, I think, and he'll be like, all right, I better scout this guy, but for now we see, now that's interesting, a second depot. So he's trying to finish his wall off super early before even going for the command center, which is odd because it does delay the command center quite a bit. But I mean, since he went the factory so damned early because he went marine first, I guess it makes sense because, oh, you know what? I think with this build you could squeeze the command center in, then get the depot and just barely have it ready for when the factory swaps over and you start building Hellions. I think a minor tweak wouldn't delay his Hellions if he does it just right. Because he's skipping the scout, he has quite a lot of minerals. Small optimization, but either way, this is a really fast Hellion build, and he still gets a pretty damn quick expand up. Went down just after the 2-minute mark, about 20 seconds after a normal fast expand. Overlord does come in and sees I think it saw the finished factory lifting up and swapping, so you gotta be real careful, because Ling Speed just started upgrading here for the Zerg. Zerg probably moving out to take a third base. Yeah, already has a drone down there. And this is going to be very early Hellions. We've seen that Ruff loves a 2 Hellion dive. He likes to just go straight across the map a lot of the time and see if he can catch the Zerg unawares, make them panic, clump up their drones and their Zerglings and just roast them. And in fact, that is an obscenely early armory. So Ruff here, planning to do some Hellbat shenanigans. Second gas being taken in the main base. Zergling does come in, gets roasted by the Marine and those Hellions assisting. Command center is now on the way. 2 more queens are building, so it's going to be a 4-queen opening. 2 queens and 6 slings at the front. Oh, and look at this. Oh, look at that. 5 lings in the mineral line, queen up the front, and a queen and 2 lings plus a creep streamer blocking the ramp right now. Oh, really well done. Fish here with a great setup. The Hellions aren't finding anything. Oh, actually, the Zerglings stack up, and they do roast most of those. The drones are going to stop the Hellions from escaping here. Well done by Fish, who does get 1 Hellion, almost gets the second one. Losing a few Zerglings, much better than losing your drones there, so not too worried about that. But the Hellion production continues. This is a mineral-focused build order from Ruff. It's all just Hellion production so far. So Orbital and the Natural is now mining as well. He's got those 3 Hellions there. There we go. So the SCVs have been pulled off to repair up that Hellion. 5 Hellions are out. Now, that armory was done so early, but because he went in so fast, he hasn't really had a chance to use it just yet. He's going 6th and 7th Hellion there as well, so he might hit a 7 Hellbat timing. Oh, Overlord's going to see it, though. Will it give time to respond, though? Baneling Nest is already on the way for the Zerg player, but it's just started. It's not going to be ready in time, I don't think, if these Hellions go straight across the map. Ship weapon starting up. What is this build from Ruff? I mean, his tech is all over the place. This is so weird. The Marine is going to slowly kill the Overlord, but the Overlord... Oh, it actually missed the armory. It missed the armory, and the Hellions are moving out. Like I said, 7 Hellions. They're going to morph into Hellbats. What is there to defend? 6 Queens, 8 Zerglings on the Zerg side of the map. That pervert finally will go down. Gives a bit of a blood shower to those SCVs. And here we go. 7 Hellbats coming in. Fish has got to get out of there. Those Queens not going to stand a chance. Those Creep Streamers just get 1 shot there. And those Hellbats, they are hungry for some queen meat for dinner tonight. Nice transfuse so far. Fish just desperately trying to buy time. A few banelings on the way. The queens are awfully clumped. They're going to start to spread out. Zerglings do come in and distract for a moment. Can the Hellbats do it? The banelings are coming. The banelings, though. Can the banelings find the mark? Oh, big, juicy baneling hits. And that keeps all of the queens alive. Nicely done by Fish. Holds the Hellbat timing with flying colors. 12 drones already building while the tail end of that fight went on. And look at that. Fully saturated third, main, and natural mineral line. 55 workers lair. This is an exceptional play from Fish, who is just completely in control. A very unorthodox Hellion dive into very fast Hellbat timing. But Fish is ready for it. And I wonder, should Ruff have split those Hellbats up? Gone after the drones in each base instead? Or maybe gone after the morphing banelings? Perhaps he should have. But there was good creep connecting the bases, which is part of why those queens had the maneuverability. Even up into the main, there is creep spread. Fish takes the fourth base here, wants to work that lead. The third command center only now starting. Remember, like I said, Ruff has spent a lot of minerals on these Hellions and the armory early. He's now going 2-port Banshee, which is super cute. And those Banshees are going to potentially come on out. He's got some nice flashing red lights. I think that might be the Tyrador Banshee skin. It's definitely one of the more recent ones. Maybe Emojin? I think Tyrador, though. And definitely has Cloak on the way. A few more Banshees coming out. We've got a Raven on the way and Corvid Reactor. What? I was not expecting that. Hellions, though, will find an undefended mineral line. The Zerglings a little bit far away, and a couple of drones do go down, but, oh no, that baneling hit is big. Hellbats do morph, so they're going to cause a little bit more of a disruption here, but if they go out into the open, the Zerglings and the Queens will deal with them. The Queens already actually dealing with this quite well. A few more drones do go down, so at least Ruff does get something here. Oh, he really wanted those Zerglings to chase him into that choke point, but nice micro from Fish once again. Loses 11 workers here, but for that many Hellions, it's just not that big of a deal because it's the scale that's the problem. The Marine runs in and dies. But as I was saying, the scale, right? So 64 workers for Fish. 4 hatcheries can just bounce right back from anything like that. Ruff has just landed his third command center. So he's still on 44 workers. He is trapped so far behind. The Banshee's going to go across, but he's got to get a lot of damage done with it. And I've got to feel that he's a bit too diversified in his tech. So the Raven is cute. I mean, but Corvid Reactor didn't kick in time. Now he's building more Banshees. Is it Ravens or is it Banshees? I would have preferred he stick on Banshee production and get Hyperflight Rotors to speed these up. But he goes in, he sees an Overseer. Fish pulls the drones away. This is just advanced maneuvers. Notice the way Fish cues the drones. Run there, run back, knowing the anti-air will be in place. But then more Queens and Spores. Ruff can't find much. He's going to just pick off a few drones from out of Spore range. But this is not that many kills. 4 workers. Not going to be what the Banshees are looking for. They'll grab 1 or 2 more from this base. But this is the 4th base of the Zerg, is on 83 workers, and Ruff is only now getting up to 5 factories and 2 starports. The Banshee is still microing around. He desperately needs some damage. Cloak energy is about to run out, though, and that Queen in the main should make quick work of these Banshees, especially if they accidentally go in Spore range. Ow. Last Banshee grabs 1 more drone, but even there, Fish pulls the drones back. Great micro. Creep is spreading across this map like just non-stop right now. You can see that creep all over. And what's Ruff got? Ruff has 2 Banshees, a Raven, 9 Hellions. I mean, that is just not a lot of stuff. He's going to send another 2 Banshees to harass. There's 11 Roaches on the way, though. And I feel like this is just, less than half the work count. 95 workers to 47. Ruff is dead. As much as I'd love to say, oh, well, mech can be very cost efficient, there's limits. Unless the Zerg, I mean, even if the Zerg, okay, I always talk about how you can always hope the Zerg chucks a Zerg. Now, chucking a Zerg is where the Zerg grabs their army, super disorganized, just F2, and smushes it into the worst possible attack angle. The problem is, right now, if the Zerg just maxes on Roaches, Mutas, Lings, Banes, whatever, and attacks in, it'll kill. Anything that attacks into this natural will kill. There's nothing to defend. Okay, some Hellions are going to come in. Hatch snipe. Hey, they actually kill a hatchery. That's 300 minerals of value, but run, Ruff. Oh, he can't afford trades like that. The Banelings clean up all of his Hellions. This is what I'm talking about. Like, the Zerg could A-move with all the stuff right now. Already 9 Mutas are popping. We've got 5 Ravages, 5 more Roaches on the way. There's, I guess, most of the supply is actually in Queens and drones. It's 93 drones plus 11 Queens, so 93 plus 22. I'm not very good with numbers or nothing like that. I think it's 115 supply of just drones and Queens. So I guess there's not that much army out, but I mean, look at the money. There's still so much to burn. And what is Ruff building? I mean, Thors are good versus the Mutas, so it's a good thing he's building those, but I don't know, man. He doesn't really have any tanks or anything to deal with the Ravages on the ground. Swarm hosts would be an unanswerable problem for him. I mean, he's got a few Vikings, a bunch of Thors and Hellions. He's on 3 base. He hasn't even saturated the 3rd minerals. I do talk a lot about how Ruff is very good, but one of his big weaknesses is he just never takes advantage of that 3rd base economy. It's one of the things where he always is so focused on all of his kind of technical tech switches and harassments that he just always gets either supply blocked or just forgets to just queue up extra SCVs while he's harassing. Whereas you'll see a lot of people have adjusted to Legacy of the Void in a way where they'll be like, all right, queue up 3, 4 SCVs per command center because I know I'm going to be microing Hellions in the bottom, Banshees in the back of the main for the next 1 minute, 30 seconds, right? So just queue up 4 SCVs to build. An SCV only takes like 11 seconds. That's 44 seconds of macro taken care of. So if you've got 3 bases, you actually queue up like 12 SCVs at a time sometimes. And because he doesn't do that, his third's just not saturated. He's on 54 workers. I mean, the only upside here is that I guess he's not wasting money on workers. So, like, the idea is if he can never get past 3 bases because he's so far behind, and he's scared, and you see, like, the Zerg has the whole map, massive ravage. He's got to feel like he's in such a shit spot. But as I said, right, so the idea is like, well, at least I won't waste any of these minerals that I can potentially mine on 3 base on workers. It's all going to be army and just trying to hang on and max out and get the perfect army. And I don't know if the Zerg's going to give him time. Fish has made 16 Ravages, 9 Mutas, 8 Banelings. These Ravages can just trade any way they want. They could easily kill this planetary fortress right now. They're going to come in. Ruff's going to try to get down there. They do pile a sensor tower and 2 SCVs go down. And then they run away. Fish strangely seems very afraid of this army. Ravages could roll over the top of that. There's only 2 Banshees that shoot down from above. Yes, they'll kill the Ravages eventually, but I don't see why you wouldn't trade when you're maxed with 4k minerals in the bank, 1500 gas. Fish right now is building Zerglings, +1 range, melee, Neuroparasite, Greatest by Ultra Cavern. I usually, in this scenario, I'm like, well, the only way the Zerg could lose is by attacking in the worst possible angle. The other way you can lose is making a mid-tier army and not using it ever. Why are we just Ravages and Banes are great. They could be smashing through these bases, attacking from 2 sides, rolling in the army, trading, remaxing. But the Zerg's just doing nothing right now. The Evo upgrades are so late as well. It's just making melee and range now. Ultra Cavern, Lurkerden, Greatest Spire, Burrow, Neuroparasite, Hydra upgrades as well. Now, a lot of people would say, awesome, the Zerg's macroing really well. No, that's a sign of confusion. When you make every single upgrade in the book, it means you don't have any plan. You're just clicking upgrades almost randomly. Baneling's going to roll in. That's worth it. You've got so much money. I mean, doesn't even get the SCVs, doesn't kill a single unit. Was that 1 Hellbat and a Planetary for like 40 Banes? A bit of an awkward trade. Still 101 drones in the bank, and supply is being spent on Vipers right now, which are very fancy combat unit. Queens are going to run forward, so I think that's a purposeful trade-off there, which is a wise decision. Basically, because the supply is so spent on workers, and Ruff is actually getting close to max now. His army's getting scary. Like, if he's looking for one perfect fight that is 7,000 to 9,000 resources more efficient than his opponent, he's already better than 2 to 1. But against this many Ravages, I don't know how he can do it. Tanks on the high ground. Oh, look at that position. These tanks on the high ground. That's so hard for Fish to engage into. But he's going to come forward and drop some biles. He doesn't have any anti-air, though. The Hellbats are going to go down pretty quickly, but those tanks on the high ground, plus the Banshee's starting to do damage. He's going to move a Spore Crawler forward. He's got nothing that shoots up. Lots of Ling Bane on the way. Banelings are actually really good at clearing the Hellbats and dealing with clumped up units. So the Hellbats are going to go down. The Banelings can get in the middle of these Thors and do something. But oh my god, they're running past and actually blowing up on individual Thors. Blinding Clouds come in, but there's nothing left. There's only Ravages. Oh my god. Okay, I mean, Fish is now running in with a Zergling Remax, but those tanks on the high ground, the Banshees, the Ravens dropping auto turrets. I mean, he can't even kill a single Thor. This is insane. Look at the... Ruff just lost 2,000 resources. Fish lost 10,000. That was a 5 to 1 efficiency trade. The Zerg just needs to trade off their workers and get a decent fighting force. But with such low upgrades, and only, okay, now lots of Banelings coming in, but you need to sync up the Banelings and the Ravages and take that fight correctly. The problem the Zerg had is the Ravages all died separately from the Banelings, and then the Lings came in, and then the Banes came in. They all came in separately. Remaxing now on Roaches is the Zerg. Fish still has so much money. If Fish just calmly moves the workers around, we'll be fine. Even save these workers from the top side, which for some reason are in Ruff side of the map. What? And has told them to attack? What the fuck are we looking at? Ruff is actually getting his economy hit by a drone counterattack right now. He actually loses a good handful of drones. His unsieged tanks at the rally are fighting drones right now. I mean, that's kind of good. You've got to get rid of them. Oh my god, an almost pure Baneling army. You need Zerglings as well. You can't just have Banelings, because look at what happens when the Thors and tanks spread out. Yes, he kills most of the army, but that was so grossly cost inefficient. And that was his entire gas bank. He's trying to build Corruptors right now, but he spent all of his gas on those Banes. The whole point of Banelings is to clear the Hellbats and to force them to spread out, so Zerglings, Roaches, Ravagers can surround and get on top of them. But Ruff here spreads his units, and there's nothing to punish Ruff for that maneuver. So Ruff manages to take a near-perfect fight. Fish is absolutely shitting the bed right now. Finally, a Ling Run by comes in as well. Gets Ruff down to just 35 SCVs. Yet these Banshees are killing a base. There's no gas mining. It never started mining gas down here. Oh my god, Fish has not rebuilt these drones in the top either. Just lost the gas mining there. Fish's gas economy is screwed. And that giant upgrade tab, worth nothing. Why do we have 2 Ultra upgrades? Why do we have Lurker upgrades? Why do we have Neural Parasite and Hydra upgrades? Oh my god, what a shit show. Zerglings are going to come in now, but more Thors and Hellions coming out. That Hellion especially very important for clearing these up. A cute little burrow maneuver here from Fish. And, oh, but Fish is just trickling in. It's so disorganized, just going in a few units at a time. And there's Ravens there. You can't burrow on top, underneath Ravens. They've got detection. They can see you. Oh my god, where are those Banshees? Okay, the Banshees go down. Okay, it looks like the Corruptors came down with the Overseer, cleared up the Banshees. Now, if Fish can just get back on money, it's still 54 SCVs to 29. Ruff has got a 4th command center landed. But I mean, Ruff is broke as all hell. What's he got? A pack of Thors, 6 Thors, 3 Hellbats, 3 tanks, 3 Ravens. And what do we got? Roaches, Corruptors, Lings. Honestly, if Fish just builds pure Ravager from here, Ravagers are efficient enough. You're up 20 workers. You know, yep, you've got 2 bases rebuilding. You've got 2 fresh bases in the bottom left. Maybe mix in a few drones. But, I mean, Ling Run buys will be amazing here. They can deny that base. Ravagers can do it. So I think Fish should still have this game, despite his best attempts to throw the match away. Lings come in, deny that 4th. Unfortunately, they didn't go for the big money targets. Get in the main and the natural, the production. He's being a little cautious right now. Pulls this whole army north to deal with a small Hellion counterattack. Ruff's going to come in and push this base, but Fish can just run those drones away. He's got many bases on the map. It's his drones that are the valuable bit. And Fish, once again, evacuates the drones. Fish doing a great job. Queens coming down. That's a lot of Queens. Queens can kill Ravens. They can't really damage anything else. Fish has the numbers. Fish is going to go for it, but the Queens are blocking the Roaches. The Roaches are getting blocked on the Queens over there. Those Queens need to move in forward. Mass auto turret to buffer. Is this enough? The Roaches are all still stuck behind each other. Fish is not getting on top of the tanks at all. There's a fight which Fish did not need to take. It is taking the worst angle. The tanks, the auto turrets, all tanking. Walks into the Thors on the worst possible angle. Now the Lings go in for a counterattack against Hellions behind a wall. And Fish just totally throws the game away. Dude. I love Ruff. This was more about Fish throwing than Ruff winning. No. Don't you guys dare take this one away from Ruff. Yes, Fish fucked up real bad, but shout out to Ruff for went way behind, dropped auto turrets, anti-armor missiles. His tanks were always in the back. His Thors there. He was spreading versus Banelings, and that's what allowed him to get this better than 2-to-1 cost efficiency. What the fuck? Oh, dude, how many Banelings died in this game? 112 Banelings, and they killed so little because it was just never synced up. The way Ravagerling Bane works, right? When he saw Ruff moving forward at any point, especially when Ruff isn't sieged and pre-spread, just jumped on him from 2 angles with Ravagerling Bane, you would see how powerful that composition is. But we saw a Zerg whose army was always way too small. There was always way too many Ravagers and not enough Banelings. And then he'd lose it all and then make pure Banelings with no Ravagers or Zerglings. And then back into Roaches and Queens at the end with no Zerglings to get on top. And I was like, the composition is just not right. And Ruff there with an incredible comeback. Of course, some absolute Chad Thors here. 16 kills, 9 kills, 15 kills, 21 kills, 17 kills. These Thors, absolute heroes. And a 29 and 21 kill Commander Siege Tank combo in the back. Holy shit. Ruff absolutely annihilated. Remember, he was below half the Zerg supply, below half his workers for maybe 1/3 of this game. That is an insane comeback. GG, well played, mate. That was awesome.